welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing Fiona. So I wanted to make sure I mixed in, some easy looks and, some more, advanced looks for y'all this season. So I just showed the matte book from the crayon case and the colors that I mixed to get my eyebrows. The color I used, because the wig wasn't exactly the color I wanted, but I knew if I matched the eyebrows to the wig, it would give the illusion a little better. And right here, y'all, I'm just explaining that if you don't have paint and all you have is concealer or like a white base, you can still achieve this look. So if you want to know how, make sure you just keep watching. And I'm going to explain it. So if you don't have all these, different materials and stuff like that, you can still achieve a color. And that was just color corrector that I showed. But just for example, like if you were doing Gamora, which is more similar to that LA Girl Pro concealer, that would be a good dupe to use if you didn't have a paint color. You could use that color corrector all over your face in order to get the skin tone of Gamora. And then this is the next section. I'm just showing the paints. I use Mehron AQ water-based paints, or water-activated paints, I should say. And I was just showing how I had to create the color for like the hunter green of the dress. And this is just the color lime. Honestly, y'all, I never had to use this shade before I did Shrek, and I've had it and it's such a good green. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm probably a little bit biased because my favorite color is green, but I like hunter green and I'm not a huge lime fan. But this Mehron paint was so pigmented, and I was surprised at how well it covered up my skin. Because it's such a bright, vibrant color. Sometimes if you have darker skin, you can kind of run into some transparency. And mind you, these water activated paints are going to become more transparent the more water you add to them. And I always say it's actually okay to start out with a nice thin layer that might be transparent, just so you can give your skin a base color. And then when you really lay the next layer over it, if you do it with a big enough brush, it'll really lay very nicely on the skin. So if you can see in certain sections, you can kind of see like a streak, or like it looks like, the brush could have did a better job at covering it. That's because I was using a smaller brush originally. So a good trick, especially if you're covering a big surface area, make sure you use a big brush. Try to get a body brush or something like that, and fully submerge it into the water and into the paint so you can really get a good coating on your brush. And that will really help with paint looking transparent and not being like, totally solid. I'm realizing that a lot of the times it's not even necessarily the products you're using, because a lot of products on the market are very good products. It's more so the techniques that you use. So as long as you can use an array of different products to achieve the looks that I do, you just have to have the right technique behind you. So I hope that some of the techniques I'm telling y'all about, are helpful. And if they are, please comment in the comments and let me know, because I'll add that into more of my videos and like more of my content, like little tips and tricks for y'all. So next, I'm just showing the gold metallic Mehron paint that I use to create, the dress designs. And sometimes it's hard with metallics, to get good paint. So I was proud of this paint. And now, y'all, I'm basically doing makeup right here when you highlight and like everything like that. So what I did was mix white with the lime color to give myself a lighter color, so I can still make Fiona very glam. Even though she's an ogre, I felt like she definitely still gave the girls glam. I mean, she is a princess, so I just created almost a concealer color, if you want to think about it. If you do makeup and it's easier for you to understand it in makeup terms, it helped me a lot in the beginning. So basically right here, I'm just blending. I created another color, one in between the lighter color and the darker green, just to blend everything out, so you can't really tell I did a highlight and a contour. It just looks like I'm highlighted and contoured. That's the way to get those harsh lines out. And I'm just cutting my jaw, taking our double chin away a little bit. And this honestly was my favorite part of the look, because this was a very simple look, but I just feel like this lipstick really set the look off. Like, it really set it off. And I didn't realize until the end of the live, because there were so many people asking about the color by the end, and I'm like, dang, I didn't even tell y'all the color. But just wait till the end, y'all. It comes up right on the screen, and I'll put it in the description as well, but I listed out the exact name and the brand and everything, so just 1 second for that. And now I'm going into the Jamrock palette. This is from Plain and Makeup by Yolonda. She has some of the most pigmented eyeshadows, and they're not severely expensive, but they're good quality. And I'm just using those colors to, I think one is, it's not Vibes, it's a different green in there, y'all, but I'll put it in the description. And yeah, I'm just using the darker green to, it's like a mid green, to go in and contour. And I use prosthetics for my Shrek look, y'all. Oh, and here's the lipstick name, but I use prosthetics for my Shrek look. But I felt like, you know, even though Fiona is like, you know, still an ogre, I feel like she's much smaller than Shrek. But I feel like our body shapes like are comparable, like, you know, like the thick girls that get it. So that's why I didn't use prosthetics on this one. I just mainly wanted to do paint, and I wanted to give y'all easier option, you know, something fast that you can do before you walk out the door if you have like a little impromptu Halloween party. So I used the same palette to create those blushes, which I showed y'all. And now I'm just showing y'all the palette, the Mehron AQ palette that I'm about to use to create the freckles. This is actually a really good tip. This is not something I created. I actually figured this out from a makeup show. And basically, you just want to put like a couple of drops of water in your paint, make it a little puddle, and I'm using brown. Almost to mimic mud and actual real freckles. And then I'm taking this brush. You can use a toothbrush. You can use a real brush, you know, an edge brush. And I'm dipping it in the water. You want to make sure you have enough water to actually get a fling when you brush your finger down the brushes. But this is called stippling. So you just stipple and you make some freckles. And here, y'all, again, I'm just showing y'all different base options that LA Girl Conceal, different things that you can mix with eyeshadow to create another color is what I was explaining there. So I'm just going to put on some lashes. And I was explaining there that if you ever put one lash too far back, this is another cool hack. Just put a little bit of eyeliner and it'll give you the illusion that everything's good. And yeah, everything's good. Say hi to Fiona. Period. Shrek is so lucky to have a bat like me.